Mr. Fox. Hi. Mr. Fox?
Yeah?
Hi, I'm Dr. Tan. I'm one of the psychiatrists here. Are you okay there?
No, I'm not okay, no.
What can you see, Mr. Fox?
There's radiation coming out of there.
You can see radiation?
Yeah, that's what they did. They did it at the police station as well. They used the overhead lights to
understand.
irradiate me.
I understand you've just been in the police station.
Yeah.
I can't see that. Can I ask you a few questions about it?
I'm worried about it.
Yeah, tell me about it. How long has this been going on?
Well, it happened in the police station. They're part of it. They're part of the conspiracy. And they were using the overhead lights.
Conspiracy, you say?
Yeah. My mum's got ulcers on her legs. And
What's the conspiracy involving her ulcers?
the neighbours are causing it.
The neighbours?
Yeah, the neighbours are causing it.
Right, and how are they doing that?
Because at first I thought there was radon gas coming out of the ground.
Radon gas?
Yeah, radon. Yeah, right in our area,
yeah.
But none of the neighbours have been affected. So it's the neighbours that are causing my mum all these problems.
And when did you become aware of all this? What?
Well, I'm not happy about that.
So, does this all about radiation then?
Yeah.
When did you become aware of radiation?
Because my mum's ulcers on my mum's legs,
Right.
right? They're not getting better, yeah, and I'm looking after her.
Okay.
And so I went to speak to the neighbours, and there's radiation coming from one of the neighbours got a satellite dish. So I said to him, take the satellite dish down, please, because of my mum.
Right. I see, yeah.
And he compromised with me. He wouldn't take it down, but he listened to me, and he changed the angle. He moved, so the radiation wasn't going in that direction, right?
And how did you know radiation was being?
Because I thought at first it was the radon gas, yeah. But now because it hasn't affected the neighbours, I know the neighbours are causing it.
How do you know there is radiation? What has convinced you?
Well,
there's
there's
radiation?
sparks coming out of the wall.
Sparks.
Yeah.
So tell me about the sparks.
In the living room, I saw the sparks coming out of the wall.
Was that just once, or was that?
Once.
So you saw the sparks coming out of the wall,
Yeah.
and then you knew.
Yeah, I knew. Well, I knew that there was some problem with radioactivity, right? And I thought at first it was the radon gas, but then
Could that not just be a normal electrical problem with the sparks coming out?
No, it's definitely because the other neighbour with the car,
Yeah.
right? I told him when you park your car, don't park it facing into the living room with your headlights because the radiation's coming straight through. So I've smeared grease all over the windows, right? And I've boarded the windows and I pulled the curtains and there's grease all over, smeared grease. But he wouldn't. He wouldn't. He told me to go away.
And what happened? Because I understand you ended up at the police station.
Yeah, the other bloke, he was prepared to compromise and listen to me. At least he changed his satellite dish.
Did you get into an argument?
I went round there with an iron bar. I had to.
What were you going to do with the iron
Well,
bar?
I had no choice. So he wouldn't listen to me. Right. You know, I said to my mum's ulcers. You've seen the ulcers on my mum. I've got a rash on my arm. Look, it's itchy.
Can I ask you? But I can't. See
There's a rash.
I can't see a rash. Can you feel anything?
It's itchy.
Okay, and then you ended up being.
Why are you asking me all these? Look, why are you asking me all these questions? You know the answers because you're one of the conspirators.
Unfortunately, Mr. Fox, I don't. I need to understand what's going on. Who are the conspirators? Who are they?
Well, George Bush is all behind it.
George Bush?
George Bush, yeah.
How do you know George Bush?
I just know he is. I know he is. I just know it's George Bush. He's behind it all. And so are the police as well because they're trying to irradiate me.
I just don't mind asking a few sort of personal questions. I understand a bit more about what's been happening to you. Do you ever hear any voices when no one's around?
No.
Do you ever feel like your thoughts are being said back to you?
No, not said back to me.
Do you ever feel like your thoughts are being interfered with anyway?
They
leaking out or coming in or being taken away?
Yeah, I do. There are people that can read my thoughts, but they're only people with special powers that have got that they use electromagnetic radiation.
Right.
To and those people with those special powers, they can.
That sounds quite
It is.
quite disturbing for you. How have you coped with that? What have you been doing?
I don't know. It's horrible, you know.
Yeah.
It's horrible. But
How has it affected your mood? How have you felt it?
No, I'm all right in myself. I'm worried about my mum though, and that's what I was.
Can I ask you just a couple more sort of questions to be asked? You mentioned, I think, about the gas or the radiation. Has it affected you? Has it made you?
I've got. You can see the rash.
I can't see.
It's itchy. I'm not scratching.
Can't see the rash, but you can feel something, can you?
Yeah, it's a rash.
Have you had any odd tastes or odd smells? You said you saw the sparks, but that was just once.
Once.
Nothing else unusual you've seen.
No, just the sparks. Yeah.
Am I the first psychiatrist you've ever seen?
Yeah.
Okay. You never had any problems with your mental health at all?
No,
Any of your family members had any problems with your mental health?
no,
No one admitted to hospital?
no.
Do you take any medication?
Don't take any medication, no.
Just another quick personal question. I can see it. I can see it's worrying. Another quick personal question. Do you use any drugs or alcohol? Any street drugs? Any cannabis? No. Okay. So, Mr. Fox, it's you, your mother, and your father in this place,
Yeah.
and it's the radiation that's making these leg ulcers.
Yeah.
Ulcers
My
well.
mum's really not well. It's the radiation that's causing it.
It sounds awful. How do you know it's radiation that's making?
Because
the
it's not the radon, it's not the gas. Because it's not affecting the neighbours. But the neighbours they're all behind it, you see. They're part of the
and
conspiracy.
George Bush, I thought I heard you say.
Yeah, George Bush, he's behind it all.
Okay. How would George Bush be behind it all?
I don't know, I just know he is. I don't know, I can't explain it.
Can I ask you just a couple quick more questions? Do you yourself have any special gifts, abilities,
Me,
or
no, I
powers?
wish I did. I haven't got any at all.
Are you famous anyway? Would people recognise you if you walk down the
no,
street?
I'm not famous.
Are you particularly wealthy or particularly
No, I'm
poor?
not wealthy. I'm not far from
Would you
it.
describe yourself as an ordinary person? in the
Yeah,
public
I'm an
now?
ordinary person.
Why is George Bush interested in your family?
I don't know why he would be. I really don't know why he would be.
Okay. You've kindly answered all my questions. Is there anything else you want to mention?
I don't think
before?
there's anything else. I just, you know, I didn't mean no harm. It's just the mate, he wouldn't listen. You know, I'm worried about my mum, and you know, I told him not to do it, and he wasn't interested. He thought I was being silly.
I think we need to have a bit more of a talk about this, and perhaps we'll find out a bit more about what happened. In examination, you will be expected to adequately explore any psychopathology. It's a difficult station in that the patient is very stressed by what he feels is happening, and you need to gain control of the interview straight on, but also recognise the stress he's feeling. For the delusions, make sure you explore their nature and to what degree that they're held. In addition, all other psychopathology will need to be covered, and you need to have some screening questions. Finally, this is a very distressing experience for the patient. Make sure that you look at how they're coping with that.